and welcome to the second of two parts of videos with the subtitle Ricky Made Me Do It, where I look at effects processors that I bought because of videos I watched on Ricky Tina's channel. Enrique Martinez makes these fantastic videos about music equipment, often where he walks through using them, making a track or demoing some sounds with them, and he does this with great enthusiasm and great gets across the joy of using music equipment. This is the Zen Delay from Erica Synths, made in a collaboration with Ninja Tune, which, as far as I know, is the first collaboration between a synth manufacturer and a record label to make an effects unit. Erica Synths is a very interesting company. They make high-end modular systems, often complete systems, often very expensive. They also make much more reasonably priced entry-level modular systems, sometimes also complete. I have a Pico System 3, which is a standalone desktop, completely modular synthesizer, and is a very interesting machine. Their instruments have a certain ruggedness and a very interesting approach. They're truly independent and seem to be doing very well. The Zen Delay is designed as a desktop, so you can really be at the controls of a dreamlike dub session. It has a delay with digital and digitally modeled tape delay. The main difference is the interpolation. The digital delay jumps in delay time, whereas the tape delay slews and makes very, very interesting effects. Rather good for a kind of scratching effect even. It has 4 delay modes: digital, ping pong, tape and tape ping pong, and a 5th called Vintage, which has got a mixed press. I think vintage is the wrong word. I think it should be called broken. And actually, when it's used in conjunction with the analog drive, and indeed the tube drive, you can get some very interesting results. What you can't really get is any sort of vintage delay sounds. You can get sort of broken machine sounds. I think it's actually very underrated and is a great part of the machine, but it's almost the polar opposite from these very smooth musical delays. So yes, that's the next stage, is a drive. You have an input gain, so you can really push the circuits or hold back. That's very important and very interesting, very flexible. You have after the drive an analog filter, and that's what I want to talk about. It's a multi-mode filter. You can bypass the filter. You can also bypass the delay and go straight to the filter if you want to use it just as a big stereo analog filter, which it's a wonderful thing to have. You have a low pass and a high pass filter, but in the middle you have the bandpass filter, and that's what I want to talk mostly about. And indeed, so did Ricky Tina's in his walkthrough of the machine. It's the Bandpass Filter, which I think really lives up to the name of the delay. I can, like many musicians, just sit blissing out to the Bandpass Filter alone. It's an astonishing filter, really breathtaking. I've never heard anything quite like it. And it's a bit like having a kind of bandpass sweep right behind everything in the mix, very distantly, and you can end up making these amazing long channeling wind effects with it. Very, very subtle. I like to use it behind the sheen of big stereo digital synth sounds, and have a kind of further, really distant stereo feel. Magical, magical, magical filter. Altogether an astonishing unit. Not the cheapest, it has to be said. It's the most expensive delay I think I could ever imagine buying. But it's so much more than a simple delay. Stereo ins and outs. Expression pedal input, MIDI, should you want to sync to the incoming signal. It's one of those processors that just makes everything sound better, and the Bandpass filter is just the well, yeah, it's more than the icing on the cake. It almost is the cake. Anyway, thank you for listening, and thanks once again to Enrique Martinez. I put a link down to his video about the Zen Delay, which I can't recommend enough. So, thank you for listening.